Stephen, a thoroughly entertaining game here at Fir Park this afternoon. Your team have progressed in the Little Big Shot Youth Cup. You must be pleased that your team have come out victorious.
Well, I am. Probably at the end the game's a little bit too open. But it's the one thing you get with watching under-20 football and now being involved in under-20 football for the last 8 or 10 weeks. Both teams always go for it. They don't leave anything in the tank. They both think they can win the game, and it makes it an entertaining game. First half we were probably slightly off it. We played on Tuesday. Partick Thistle didn't have a game. That was their free week, so I just wonder maybe the little bit of rest might have done them a little bit of good, because I felt some of our bigger players looked a little bit tired first half, or really couldn't get going, probably a little bit sluggish. But I think once we get going in the second half, I think we showed a little bit of quality that we have. I'm still a little bit, probably disappointed is the word of our composure in the final third at times, when we can pick teams off and when we counter attack and making the extra pass or taking the extra touch. But I think in general all round play, we may have just shaded it, but certainly Partick Thistle were well worthy of the game.
Certainly in the first half, especially both teams were going at it. It was almost like two boxers slugging it out either end. They probably created just a little bit more of the chances in the first half. Your team had a lot of possession. It was fairly even stuff before the break.
It was. It's just we couldn't seem to get a foothold in the game. We couldn't seem to get Alan Campbell in midfield on the ball. We couldn't seem to retain 4, 5, 6 passes. We were making 2 passes, giving it away, 3, 4, giving it away. And I think once you get 5, 6 passes, then everybody starts to relax, and you kind of start dictating the game a little bit. They were on the front foot. They were nice and sharp. Their system probably caught us out a little bit. We weren't too sure how they would play, so they were finding little spaces in midfield. The number 9 up front, I don't know his name, but I thought he was excellent. Really, really good player. He ran the channels. He stretched the game. He asked questions of Barry Maguire and Ben Hall. So we were on the back foot for little spells. But once we do find our feet, I think we're a decent side. So whether it's the shock of some of them playing at Fir Park for the first time, some of the family members here who maybe you've never seen them playing for such a long time, just little things sometimes can affect your performance. Plus, as I say, we played on Tuesday. But once we got up to speed, once we had our energy and our fitness, I thought, second half we certainly dominated.
Was there something you said at half time? Because almost, right away, even the first 10 minutes of the second half, I thought it set the tone right on the front foot, putting them under pressure, and that almost translated through the whole second half. Anything key said at half time that made the big difference?
I'd love to say yes, but it's probably just reiterating what we're talking about. Fullbacks, when the ball goes forward, going and picking up your man. Centre halves, when they were receiving the ball in the first half, they were taking 3, 4, 5 touches. Well, what we said at half time was, when you receive the ball, take an aggressive touch into play, take it into the pitch, step into the game, be a bit, probably a little bit more aggressive. Ben Hall had a couple of diagonals at the start of the second half, which we spoke about. Barry Maguire tried a couple of diagonals as well. So it was really just to stretch the game, but for defenders to play their passes a little bit higher up, as opposed to playing it from the edge of our box, play it from the halfway line. So it was just things like that. We asked the midfield players not to be on top of Dylan Mackin too early. I felt as the first half, when the ball was going to Dylan, Chris Cadden and Robbie Leach were beyond him too early, and Dylan hadn't got the ball under control. Suddenly Dylan loses the ball, then their midfield picked the ball up. So it was just a few little things that we had to tinker with, and once they get the grips with it, and obviously the goal helps us and settles us down. But Chris Cadden at times was unplayable, running past people, taking men on. And there's not very many players like him at this club, so we have to try and get him to work defensively a little bit better. And if he can replicate his forward play along with some better defensive stuff, then he can be a good player.
You mentioned the goal. You must have been pleased at the quality of it as well. It was a sharp, quick, crisp counter-attack. Dylan Mackin does so well on the flank to get the ball across, and Robbie Leach is the right place at the right time to slam home.
Robbie's one of the ones where you have to kind of pull the reins in at times, because he's the one that wants to always be the furthest man forward. And we've been trying to speak to him that until the ball's secured by Dylan Mackin or a centre forward like Dylan Faulkner, you can't be beyond him. Yep. Wait until he secures the ball, then try and get beyond. But that was the one time where the ball went wide and it was on for him to break into the box, and he got his reward. So we kind of hope that likes Chris Cadden and Robbie Leach can get more goals from midfield. But it's about timing the runs. It's about picking your moments, because every time we win the ball, you're not going to break into the box and score. Youthful enthusiasm is terrific, but I think game awareness and the understanding of the game comes with wasting energy and running up and down the pitch. It's actually picking your moments. So the quality of the goal was good. Big Dylan Mackin probably had his best game for us, the best game for me since I've came in charge. I thought his hold-up play at times was good. He has to mix his game up a little bit more, but certainly his hold-up play and his aggression up against the centre-halves gives us a foothold to get forward. You
mentioned that youthful exuberance. Was it the same youthful exuberance that after you'd went one ahead, there was battering down the door to try and get a second one, when you maybe perhaps as a coach wanted them to see it out a bit more?
Well, that's where you look at the likes of Ben Hall and David Ferguson and Luke Watt when he came on, just to kind of have a little look about and think, Thistle at that time were going back to front, so midfield was being missed out for them, whereas we were playing through midfield. But it's that probably a little bit of composure I'm talking about in the final third, where we probably had 4v3 a couple of times and 3v2 a couple of times, but the man on the ball was wanting to move the ball and have a shot, as opposed to sometimes moving the ball, play an extra pass, maybe take an extra touch and maybe just take one of their players out of the game and free up a man. So, but that youthful exuberance is what I love to see, because if both teams get up and down, of course if they'd have scored later on I'd have been disappointed, but the fact that both teams are going at it hammer and tongs and winning tackles and headers, and it's great to see. It's just great to see the enthusiasm. Some people have questioned different players at this club, even at senior level, for lacking a little bit of enthusiasm at times. Well, if you come and watch the 20s playing, that's the one thing you're guaranteed is enthusiasm. Yes, composure and a little bit of experience is missing, but if they can continue this enthusiasm and energy, then hopefully they can progress.
That's the key point of the 20s, isn't it? Are you hopeful now that a couple of these guys, you've mentioned one or two individual names within there, they can start knocking on the manager's door and say, look, can you give me a shout, give me a turn at this, because they are turning it on for you now week in and week out?
Well, these are the games they have to do. I think I've said before in interviews that not to waste any training session, whether it's a warm-down session, a stretching session, a pull session, a training session or a game, don't waste it. Someone's always there to watch you. Whether it's me in training or Keith Lasley in training or the manager or Stephen Robinson here, someone's always watching. So we never waste an opportunity to impress people and continue to do the right things. Your young players make mistakes and they give the ball away. I can handle that. But as long as they continually try and do the right things or continually try and do the things we're speaking about, because when they do, they're good players and they're a good side. But that's up to them, is to push the managers, knock on the manager's door and show what they can do. Yes, they're doing it for me week in, week out, but when they get the chance to even go and train with the first team, they have to go and make a mark. Don't go up just to fill a jersey or just to make up numbers. Go up and make an impression. If it means going up and kicking someone or tackling someone and without even hurting them, go up and make an impression. And Alan Campbell's one who certainly makes an impression in 20s games, and when he goes and trains with the first team he makes an impression. So he's one of the ones you're probably speaking about. Chris Cadden has to be thereabouts soon. Ben Hall is progressing no end. You're all doing really well, but for them now it's to maintain what they're doing and try and keep doing it and push themselves on the next level.
Stephen, thank you.